Sky is so high, if you don't know how to fly, Ainfield is here to make you fly. Sky is so high, if you don't know how to fly, Ainfield is here to make you fly. Here we go.
Ankita, Amari, put your video on. After an hour, I'm going to give you a break, and then I want you to get your books and pencil, pens, so that I can give you a couple of notes. Okay? So we start. Yesterday, I explained to you. The other day, I explained to you the way to photograph handling. How do you start with it, and how you go about it? How the passenger goes once he checks in. He has to check in, then go through immigration, go through customs, go through security, and reach the boarding gate. There are certain terminologies which you use for that. So I will give you notes on those terminologies. You have to use those words for the airline. Whether it's cabin crew, ground staff, all of it. Okay. After the time, I'll be giving you the notes. Just keep your books handy. As I told you, I showed you the boards that day, the display boards at the airport, which gives you the arrival and departure information and tells you flight number and tells you your destination and status, whether the flight is on time, flight is delayed, flight is going to be, coming early, sometimes they just come 10 minutes early. All this information is given to you, whether boarding has started or not. So this was our display board. Now we come to customer service. What is customer service? Can anybody tell me what is customer service? Alina George, can you tell me what's customer service? Alina ran away, I think. Chika, can you tell me what do you understand by the word customer service? Don't be scared to give the wrong answer. I don't expect you to know everything. If you knew everything, you'd be in my face. So don't worry, I'll correct you, but tell me what it is. What is customer service? What do you think is the meaning of customer service?
I'm not hear your voice.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah, it's all correct from your end.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What do you understand by the word customer service?
customer care.
Sorry? Okay, someone else? Veena, can you tell me?
To help passenger.
Passengers
Yes,
handling.
to help passenger. Handling, yes. Anything else that you can think of? Okay. Customer service is to make the passengers feel that he's your guest and receiving your special attention. Customer service does not mean only giving him the service that you have been told to, but anticipating what he wants and giving him that extra service so that he becomes your loyal customer. I would like you to write down the definition of what do you mean by customer service. Please write down. Customer service means meeting and exceeding the customer's needs and expectations. Full stop. It means providing exceptional service to our customer. It means providing exceptional service to our customer and resolving their problems so that they become a loyal customer. Saurav, Ramesh, Snowmaker, please put your videos on.
Could you repeat once?
Customer service, it also means providing exceptional service to our customers and resolving their problems so that they become a loyal customer. Okay? That is the definition of customer service. I will ask you tomorrow and I expect you to give me a correct answer. Helping them, now stop writing. Helping them at every stage is the keyword. They have said, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. You have to speak to them, help them in such a way that you would like people to speak to you and you would like people to help you. So you have to help them in every possible way, make them feel at home, make them feel happy, and so that they come back to your ally. You have to try and make every customer a loyal customer. Give him that kind of service that he comes back. So not only you give him the service that he demands for which he has paid for, but you also give him extra, go out of your way to give him that extra service. If there are certain do's and don'ts in customer service. I'll start with the do's. Address the passenger by name preceded by his title. You will have to address him by his name. Like if he is Sharma, you will say Mr. Sharma. You do not take anybody's first name. So it shows personal attention instead of saying sir or madam. If you take somebody's name, it shows that you already have a list of his name. So the first class and business class passengers are supposed to be called by their names, not sir and madam. In economy, there are lots of passengers, so we say sir and madam, which is okay. But otherwise, when you speak to them with their name, they feel, oh, they know my name. So it gives much more, it looks better and they feel happier. So address them by their name, it shows personal attention. Assist passengers through government control, especially in language problem cases. There are many passengers who do not speak English, do not speak Hindi, do not speak the local language. There may be foreigners also who cannot speak English. You need to guide them through immigration and customs and take them to the aircraft. Refer difficult and irritable passengers to senior officer on duty. When you start working, you will come across a lot of people who are by nature very irritable or angry or upset or negative. You can't handle them, please ask your senior to handle them. We will do it, they are used to it. Communicate with passengers and inquiring in a friendly way. If information is not available, inform them when information is available. If you do not know something, as I told you, don't lie, just tell them, sir, I don't know, I will find out and get back to you. And find out and get back to him, don't disappear. Keep all informed in case of delays and other irregulations. Anytime there's a delay, you've got to inform them why we are having a delay, why we are waiting, what's the issue, they'd like to know. Inform passengers immediately in case of delay or cancel. If a flight is cancelled or delayed, immediately. Give accurate information, keep a clean appearance and always smile and show cheerfulness. Very, very important. Now we come to the don'ts. Do not let the customer feel that you're in a hurry. Don't give him half attention. Like you're saying, okay, I want to do away with him. You say, okay, I'm coming. No, do not do that. Listen to him. Do not give incorrect information. Better apologize than giving wrong information. Do not show the customer that his knowledge is inferior to yours. Customer must be helped, not taught. Don't try to teach him, try to help him. Don't try to show him that he doesn't know anything and you know everything. When you are at the airport, you will know everything. Remember, customer is always right. Do not use technical jargon in conversation with customer. Let your conversations be simple as possible. Don't try to use technical terms to show off. Let your conversation be very normal, which he can understand. Okay? Do not give detailed information on public address system. You know what is public address system? In short form, in the airline, it's called PA, public address. Do you know what it is? Okay. It is the, sorry, yes. Somebody was speaking. Public address system is the mic where you make announcements at the airport and on board. It is called public address. You have to, some of my students are new, I've already taken a class. For those who are new, I would like you to make a separate section in your books and call it airline terminology. You go by A, B, C, D, E, F like that. Whenever I tell you a word, go there and write it. It will be a short form and I will tell you the meaning. Put the word starting with A, put in A. The word starting with B, put in B. Have you understood that? Make a separate section in your book called airline terminology. Okay? Because I will be giving you a lot of it. Okay, thank you. So PA, it will go in P. It is called public address system. PA is public address. From where the ground staff and the cabin crew in the aircraft make their announcements. All of you are going to make announcements. Whether it's boys, girls, everybody. So everybody has to learn to make announcements and to change your voice. You cannot make announcements anyway. It has to sound very nice. So you have to change your voice. Stop there. You have to stop. Speak where you have to stress on certain words. We'll be doing that later. Okay. Do not give detailed information on public address system. Public address system is for everybody. The entire airport hears you. The entire aircraft hears you. Only give what you are supposed to give. Do not give unnecessary information there. If necessary, if you have some personal information to be told, like sometimes there is an emergency at home for a passenger, say for example he loses somebody in his family, then don't get on the mic and say, Mr. Sharma, you have lost your family member, please come. He will panic. Then all you will say is, Mr. Sharma, you are required to come to the counter. Please come to the counter. This is the information you will give him. At the counter, you will tell him whatever has happened. Say, this is the information we've got. You need to go home. So this is the way. Unnecessary information should not be given on public address. If necessary, call the passenger at the counter and let your colleague talk to him. If you cannot talk to him, your senior will talk to him. Never lose your temper on your passengers, even if they are wrong, even if they are shouting at you. Please don't. Guys, put your videos on, please. Passenger handling procedure. The next topic. Passenger handling procedure is a series of functions which, when performed efficiently, culminates in high standards of passenger service and punctuality. If you do your functions properly, fast, efficiently, then passenger service is complemented and punctuality also is taken care of. Some of the functions discussed here will be directly related to passengers and their baggage as departure, arrival and transit. Now, you know what is departure means: leaving the country or leaving that station. Arrival means coming into the station. You don't say passenger is coming, you say passenger is arriving. So you can put it in the terminology saying departure is for passengers leaving the station. Arrival A is for passengers coming into the station. Station meaning the place, not the railway station. Third, yeah. Tell me when you're done. Departures, leaving the station. Arrival is coming into the station. Transit, T-R-A-N-S. Transit means those who are at the airport for further connections. They do not get out. They are at the airport for their next connection. Now we go to departures. This section will deal in the following functions. Listen, I will tell you when to write. Check-in procedure, which we have already done. You know how the check-in procedure is. Passenger comes with to the check-in counter. You have to wish him, good morning sir, madam, how may I help you? Take his ticket and take it. What you tell me what else? Passenger comes to the check-in counter. Janvi, tell me what would you check?
Ma'am, first we will check the tickets, that
Yeah.
even the passports,
Yes.
visa and all. We will check their
Okay.
name. The name and passport and the ticket should be same.
Correct. Okay. If sometimes you might ask them for another identification also. They have to give you another. Mostly passport is good enough. And what else? And what will you check in the ticket?
Boarding pass.
Boarding pass you will give them. I'm asking what will you check? Passengers just come. I'm passenger. I've come, what will you ask me? Yeah.
Your ticket. In ticket you will check the class.
Okay. Your name and passport name should match. You will ask. You will check the class, and you will also check what else. Won't you check where he is going? Destination. Who said destination? Correct. Destination. Where he is going? He may be going to London. You may be at New York counter. So you have to check the destination. Okay. Then what will you ask? What about his baggage?
Baggage number. Some number.
You will ask him to keep his bag. The check-in bag. There are two types of bags. Which are they? You have check-in bag and handbag. Two types of bags. Check-in bag is that baggage which is taken by the airline. Hand baggage is what you carry in the aircraft. I had given notes on this earlier. Yeah. So you have to read the notes. Check-in baggage. So you will check his baggage, and when everything is okay, what will you give him? What will you give him?
Boarding pass.
Boarding pass. Correct. Anybody can tell me what are the things which are written on the boarding pass? Can Ashwin you tell me?
Flight number, time.
Correct.
Their name.
Name, flight number,
Date of
date,
Seat number.
traveling.
seat number,
Gate number.
seat number,
What type of
destination,
class? Time
class.
of boarding.
time of boarding, correct. Number of boarding,
Boarding gate number.
gate number, correct. All these things. How many parts are there on the boarding card?
2 parts.
Which part will
Two
you
parts.
keep, the smaller or the bigger?
Smaller.
Bigger will be given to the passenger.
Smaller.
You'll also, with boarding pass, you'll also give one more thing to the passenger. What is that?
Baggage tag.
Yes, correct. Very good. Baggage tag number. One baggage will go on the bag and one will go on the seat. I'm glad you'll know at least something. Good, good, good. Okay, so that is there. Then passenger seat manifesting. I will show you a manifest sometime later how a manifest is done. In my next class, I'll show you. Manifest is passengers' details, seat number, name, destination, passport number, and any request if he has. Veg meal, non-veg meal. Somebody put your audio off, please. Veg meal, non-veg meal, wheelchair requirement, whether he's a doctor. They let us know when there is a doctor on board. So any doctor traveling, any VIP, CIP, all this information is given in the manifest. We have several kinds of passengers. We have confirmed passengers, we have go slow passengers, we have no show passengers, we have revenue passengers, we have non-revenue passengers. There are different kinds of passengers. To start with, I'm giving you the definition. Start right. We are heading. This is. Don't put it in the cabin crew dictionary. The cabin crew terminology. Don't put it there. When I have to put it in the terminology, I'll let you know. This is normal note. Heading is passenger handling. First one, definite booking. Definite booking. Term used to designate passengers. Learn to write passengers in airline form, which is called PAX. Term used to designate passengers booked on a definite space basis. Term used to designate passengers booked on a definite space basis. Number 2, no show passenger. NO, no, show, SHOW, no show passenger. A definite booking passenger. Those who have the notes need not write. A definite booking passenger failing to show up for the flight.
Can you repeat again? Failing to show
up for the flight. Failing to show up. A definite booking passenger failing to show up for the flight means he does not come for the flight for whatever reason. Give me a minute. Next is go show. GO, Go show passenger. Go show passenger. A passenger who does not hold a confirmed seat but takes a chance at the airport. But takes a chance at the airport. Make it bigger than this if you can later. Takes a chance at, did you finish writing? Next, okay. Next, registered baggage. Baggage accepted for transportation on behalf of a passenger and taken checked custody of by the carrier for which an identification is issued. Identification tag is issued. Registered baggage, you can also write into brackets checked-in baggage. Checked-in baggage, registered baggage is the same thing. Sarab Kamdi, can you put your camera on? Next is unchecked baggage or hand baggage.
Actually, ma'am, I am in a low light.
Okay. Okay. Unchecked baggage or hand baggage. Hand baggage permitted to a passenger in addition to free baggage allowance. For example, a small bag containing medicines, food, toiletries, etc.
Could you repeat once?
Hand baggage permitted in addition to the free baggage allowance. For example, a small bag with medicines, could be an overcoat, could be baby food. You can carry a hand baggage consisting of your medicines, putting your medicines, your something to eat, baby food, your shawl, your coat, your sweater. You can use all this. Also, you can carry a wheelchair. Put your audio off, please. Umra, put your audio off. And also a wheelchair you can take. Next definition is free baggage allowance. Now, free baggage allowance, each class, whether it is first class, business class, or it is economy class, it differs from airline to airline. Some airlines may allow you free baggage up to 20 kilos for economy. If that is the case, for business class, they will allow you 30 kilos, for first class 50 kilos. It's always more. Depends on the airline. And if the airline wants to give you 30, 50, 60, 80, depends on them. So free baggage allowance, we won't write, only it is different for different classes. That's all you need to know. And the last one is pooled baggage, POO, like swimming pool, pooled baggage. What is a pooled baggage? Pooled baggage is, suppose you are traveling with your family or to holiday to Goa, and mother, father, you and your sibling, sister, brother, whoever, 4 people. Free baggage allowance is 20 kilos per person. So you get 20, 40, 60, 80, correct? Total you will get free baggage allowance of 80 kilos. Now suppose your dad is carrying 10, mother is carrying 15, you are carrying 40 and somebody else is carrying 25. So what they will do is, they will pool it together. Since you are a family going, only if you are going as a family or as a group of friends. When you have bought a ticket as a group, not if you can't catch anybody at the airport and say, come join me. No. If you have booked as a group, all your baggage will be pooled and the total will be taken. If total of 80, if anything above 80, you will have to pay for it per kilo. Understood? Okay, so that is pooled. So pooled baggage, the baggage of 2 or more persons traveling, the baggage of 2 or more persons traveling as one party to a common destination by the same flight taken together for the purpose of weight consideration.
Ma'am, can you repeat once again?
Yeah, sure. The baggage of 2 or more persons traveling as one party to a common destination by the same flight taken together for purposes of weight consideration, so that the total baggage allowance is equal to the sum of their individual free baggage allowance. To the sum of their individual free baggage allowance. Got it?
This one from common destination, can you tell me?
Okay, I'll repeat it again. The baggage of 2 or more persons traveling as one party to a common destination by the same flight taken together for purposes of weight consideration, so that the total baggage allowance is equal to the sum of the individual free baggage allowance. So your individual baggage allowance is 20, 20, 20. Total will be 80. So the consideration will be taken for the whole 80 kilos. Okay. Next is, sorry, I've forgotten 2 more. Excess baggage. Baggage in excess of free baggage allowance. Baggage in excess of free baggage allowance. Suppose your baggage allowance, airline gives you 20 kgs and you are carrying 25 kgs. 5 kgs will be counted as excess baggage. You will be charged per kilo as per the airline rate. Okay. So a definition is baggage in excess of free baggage allowance. And last one, concessional fares. Concessional fares. Fares charged at special discount. Fares charged at special discount. That's it. This is what departure handling people have to understand. You check in the passenger, you check his baggage, you will see how many kilos it weighs. You will cut out the free baggage allowance and you will charge them for the remaining baggage kilos as per the rate of the airline. Hand baggage also has a weight restriction. You cannot carry more than 7 kilos in your hand. And there are certain items which you cannot take. Security will remove and throw it, like scissors, nail cutters, pluckers, knives, any sharp object, any gels, big gel, even if it's your face moisturizer, if it's more than 100 ml, you cannot carry. So all this in only small bag, 7 kilos can fit in your hand. You can only carry that much, and a coat or a purse. So that is your you also have to add one more to your list is non-revenue passengers. Passengers.
Fares
Sorry.
charge.
What did I say earlier? Concessional, right? Fares charge at discounted rate.
Discount.
Yeah. Discounted tickets are called concessional. Non-revenue passengers are those passengers who do not pay for the ticket, like staff, like you will be traveling free of charge. When you join the airline, you get free tickets per year. You can for you and your family, and you can travel as much as you like. I mean, depending free on the when you start, it is less. As you have more years of service, you will be given more tickets. Every airline gives free tickets to their personnel, which they can be used for self or immediate family only, not distant family, only mother, father, siblings. So those are called non-revenue passengers who are on free tickets. Okay? Now we come to the next heading, A, check-in. For departure, A, check-in procedure. We've already been into that, so I'll go fast on that. In most forms of transportation, it is usually sufficient to show ticket to obtain a seat. In air transport, this is difficult to achieve. So main purposes of check-in. What is the main purpose of check-in? One is flight assembly. You have to assemble the passengers. Even if you are going by train, you see all the passengers get together on the train station for the train to come. Same way, you have to assemble the passengers at the airport. Number 2, control of passengers and baggage weight, numbers and weight. Baggage, the total, when you join as ground staff, you have to make a sheet, a paper called load and trim sheet. In the load and trim sheet, you have to write the entire weight of passengers and baggage that the aircraft will be carrying. For that, you have to calculate. Now it is computerized, so baggage weight you will get. Passenger weight, somebody may be very thin, somebody may be very fat. They don't take individual passenger weights. They take an average passenger weight. I'll tell you how much the weight is. Okay. Standard weight for the purpose of calculation for every passenger. Male 75 kilos, female 75 kilos. You can write it down. Standard weights for passengers. Standard weight for passengers. Male 75 kilos, female 75 kilos, child 35 kilos, infant 10 kilos. This is for calculation. Crew, male or female, 75 kilos. These are the standard weights given to passengers and crew, irrespective of their personal weight for the purpose of calculation. So in your load and trim sheet, you will have to calculate as per this formula. Another definition, please write payload. Payload. This is an airline term for that part of the load from which revenue is derived. That part of the load from which revenue is derived. Into brackets, write passenger is given to you in alphabets and numerical. It could be like H, J, B, 5, 6, 5, F, something. And when you speak to the passenger and he quotes this PNR number in everything, the minute you put the PNR number in the computer, you get all details about the passenger's booking and passenger. I had given you all this airline, what do you call it? I can't get over. Okay, this ABCD, the PNR number of phonetics. I had given you all the phonetics. If you remember, A for alpha, B for.
Yes, ma'am.
Does anybody not have it? Then please tell me.
Shall I?
Do you have the phonetic? Do you have the phonetics?
Yes, ma'am.
Does anybody doesn't have the phonetics?
Ma'am. I don't have that.
Who will name please?
No, Mika.
Okay, you don't have it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, do you have one of the people from the class who could just...
I don't have, no, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't have, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So what we will do is...
I also don't have.
Phonetics are the airline phonetics A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What are the words that you are supposed to use? So, when you're given, I will give you the phonetics later. The PNR number is generally given to you in edge. I mean in words, in letters and numbers. PNR number, PNR is passenger name record. You have to understand that. So I'll give you the notes later. Just listen now. The requested seats on PNR must be blocked for protection of passenger. When he books his ticket and is given a PN, sometimes he asks for a seat allocation also. If he has requested and it is on his PNR, that seat has to be given to him. You cannot give it to others. Passengers should always be asked for preference of their seats. Right now, we ask for preference of seats. After a couple of years, they're not going to do it because they're going to charge separately for window seats, separately for aisle seats, and separately for menu seats. So, as long as they're not charging, you can ask for the preference. It is impossible to grant passengers' requests. They may be advised of the sometimes they come late and all the seats are taken up and they get upset. You have to tell them, so sorry, apologize, we cannot accommodate you together. Ladies traveling with infants are preferably given a seat in front where the carry cot is fixed. It's called a carry cot or a bassinet in airline terms, where the lady can put the baby as she doesn't have to carry the baby for so many hours. But these seats, which are called the bassinet seats, have to be booked for. It cannot be given without booking. The lady has to book for the seats. And if there is no booking and if there are seats, you can give it to anybody. But if there is a definite booking, you cannot. I also said that there are one category of passengers called UNM, unaccompanied minors. These minors are children from the age of 5 to 12 traveling alone. They have to be looked after very, very well by the ground staff at the airport and by the cabin crew in the aircraft. Also, on reaching the destination, you have to hand over to the ground staff at that airport and make sure that the child reaches the parents or the guardian. Very, very important. So, UNM should not be seated in an emergency exit. Now, what is an emergency exit? Can you see this? This is a plane. If I take it, the tail towards me, nose in front, this is the left side of a plane. This we call the left side here when the tail is towards us, not like this. Can you see me? Can you see this? Somebody answer.
Yes.
So when the tail towards you, this nose this way, this is the left side of the plane, this is the right side of the plane. For passengers, only left side is open, the door. They can only board and deboard from here and here. The right side is for catering and other things, and for catering and for cleaning. The cleaners and the caterers come from here. The passengers come from here. Fuel is put here at the back. These are the engines. Engines are numbered from left to right. Engine number 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the tail. This and this has separate names, which I will be giving you later. These are 4 doors here. I'm sure you can't see clearly, but 1, 2, 3, 4. These are called exits. They're all exits in airline terms. This door is open and this door is open. The door on the top of the wing is never opened unless in an emergency. It is called an over wing exit because it is near the wing. It's called an over wing exit. This exit, over wing exit, the passengers who sit near this exit, there are certain rules for those passengers which you have to follow when you issue a seat. You cannot give it to anybody under 15 years. The passengers seated here should be an able-bodied person. He should not be an invalid or having any physical problems. She should not be a mother with children. It should be an able-bodied person. All the 3 sitting here should be able-bodied person who can help you in an emergency. So this is called an emergency exit. The rest are normal. Both the overwings are emergency exits. For a commercial airline, again I'm telling you, with the tail to the nose, this is the left-hand side of the aircraft. This is the cockpit. The radar is here. These are those. You have same side 2 doors. If there are 4 doors here, there will be 4 doors here. Aircraft is known from the doors as well as the color of the tail. This is Air India, it's written on it. So there are 4 doors here. So 4 doors will be called L1, L2, L3, L4, R1, R2, R3, R4. This is how the aircraft is. This carriage is the undercarriage. The wheels are called the undercarriage. As you can see, this is divided into 2. The top portion of both the wings is where the passengers sit. The baggage is here. Somebody asked me a question where the dead body is. It's here in the hold. You cannot see here. This portion, the forward portion, is always the cockpit and the first class. In the middle is the business class. Last is the economy class. Okay, this is how it is. There is one wheel here, main wheels here. These are called undercarriage or the main landing gear, and this is called the nose landing gear. It lands like this. It doesn't come like this. It always lands like this. Also, there are different phases of the flight that I also forgot to tell you. When the flight is taking off, when the flight is moving, this is called the takeoff. This is called the climb. This is called the cruise when it is traveling from one country or another. When it's reaching the destination, it starts coming down. When it comes down, you call it descent, and when it lands, you call it landing. These are the phases of flight. I will be giving you in the notes. You can write it down later. So now UNMs, as I said, are not to be placed near the emergency exits. No old people, no handicap, no mothers with children. You should put UNMs, give them a seat where the cabin crew can keep an eye on them because they are working, the cabin crew, They don't have time to look after the child all the time, but ek nazar, all can look at them if they are seated next to the galley. Kitchen of the aircraft is called galley. So you have to use these words. You cannot say kitchen of the aircraft, you have to say galley. Adult with an infant should be seated in one of the seats facing the bulkhead where the bassinet is fitted. In the aircraft, there are partitions. Partition between first class and club class. Partition between club class and economy. In the economy also there are various half partitions. There are partitions. On each partition are hooks put. 2 hooks this side, 2 hooks in the center, 2 hooks on the other side. On the hook comes the cot where the baby is put to sleep. It's called a bassinet. And the partitions in airline term is called bulkhead. Again, I'll give you the notes, but just take it from bulkhead is called partition in the aircraft. So, bulkhead where a bassinet can be fitted. Priority must be given to passengers who reserve bassinet position. Ladies who reserve bassinet positions have to be given first priority. If any other bassinet position is vacant, there is nobody reserved, it may be given to any lady with a child. Again, the child should be 1 year old, not bigger than that, because the weight of the bassinet, it should be able to take the baby, it will come down otherwise. Long haul passengers should get preference over short haul in respect of seating. Those who are going on a long haul flight, their destination is far away, their legs hurt, so give them seats with more leg space. And those who are going on a shorter distance, adjust them somewhere in cramped. You can't really do this thing, but try and accommodate as much as you can. Families, try and give them seats together. In the transit station, don't change seats, because suppose you have already allotted seats. The flight is going from Bombay, Dubai, London. Now you have already allotted seats to Dubai and to London. The flight is not full. We have given certain passenger seats to Dubai and certain passengers. Now when the flight leaves from here, all your paperwork goes to Dubai. So Dubai people know exactly how many seats you have given and how many seats they have in hand. So they will give the remaining seats for passengers to London. Now if you go and change the seats in the transit, this thing, there will be all mess. So you cannot change the seat once you've given. If the flight is light, people want 4 seats to even lie down, they take, no problem. So if the flight is full, you have to make sure that each seat is occupied as per the mutual exchange between passengers is okay. But passengers have to be in their seat. You can tell them, sir, change after takeoff. Till takeoff, don't change please. Because you need to organize things till takeoff. Once the takeoff, the doors are closed and the aircraft is taken off, they can change wherever they like. Okay? So that is there. Then least desirable seats in order to protect passengers from undesirable for efficient cabin services. Okay, there are no least desirable seats, but there are some seats on domestic carriers near the emergency exits which do not go at the back, which do not recline. And sometimes they get upset, but you can tell them that, sir, we have seats which do not recline. Now, Veena, George and Avishna, I would like your videos on, please. 3 seats, in case of necessity, these seats will be allotted to company bus. These seats at the back, the last row, and sometimes near the emergency seats don't recline. If you have staff traveling on that flight, give it to the staff. The uncomfortable seats, give it to the staff. Because we staff, we are not supposed to complain, so it's okay. Okay, so give it to them. If these seats are offered to commercial passengers with reasons such as passengers' request or full booking status, proper explanation should be given. If he's already booked the ticket on a confirmed seat and you're giving him a bad seat, please tell him. But sir, there's an issue with this seat. Would you still like to travel? Or can we accommodate you on another flight? If he says, no, I will not go, I'll go on another flight, give him another. If he says it's fine, let him travel on that. Okay? In case of multi-leg, in event of double seating, traffic personnel should not leave the settlements of this dispute to cabin crew, but make all efforts to reassign. What happens is sometimes the ground staff, the staff at the counters make a mistake. Many times, not sometimes, many times. What they do is they allot the same seat to two people. And then on board there is a fight. Because two people come for the same seat. So in that case, don't leave it to the cabin crew to sort out the fight. You go there, find out where is the mistake, who checked in first, and give the passenger an alternate seat. Because it is not a bus, can't go standing. So you have to give him a seat. So you make sure that you deal with it. Then we come to manifesting service control. I need you to write a few things, so get ready. This is manifest is an equally important. What is a manifest? It is a paper which writes all the details of the passenger, which has to also go to the next station and to the next till the destination. So after receiving the PNL, means passenger name list, PNL, passenger name list, write it in the terminology. From the reservation control, you get the PL first, you get the list from the reservations. Control the saleable seats until departure of the flight. So hold on to the seats till the departure of the flight. There may be passengers who are also buying a ticket at the last minute in an emergency. You have to keep it ready for that. Make all the data ready, check all the, as per the ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization. I had given it last time to some people and some don't have. I will be giving you now. In the manifest, you also have to write total number of passengers, their weights and weight of baggage, number break of male, female, child. This all goes in the manifest. If you want, you can write in short. Just write manifest. Number 1, names of passengers. Just write in short. I'm giving it to you in short. Manifest. Number 1, names of passengers, male, female, children. Number 2, total number of passengers. Number 3, total number of passengers per class. So, total number of discounted passengers. Number 5, total number of non-revenue passengers. Number 6, total number of non-revenue passengers. Welcome. Total number and weight of checked-in baggage. Total number of weight in unchecked baggage. Next, prepare GD into brackets, general, declaration. General declaration, I will tell you. Next, number of special handling passengers. Into brackets, VIP, CIP, UNMs, invalids. SIP also.
Excuse me, ma'am. You said VIP, CIP, and SIP.
SIP.
Can
UNM.
you please?
Yes, I'll tell you all. VIP is very important person. CIP is commercially important person. SIP is sales-wise important person. It is the agents who get tickets for us. UNMs are unaccompanied minors. Invalids are people with some special needs. The last line should be record all data in accordance with ICAO. ICAO. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Below manifesting, they have given you a couple of short forms for this thing. You, if you have your soft copies, you can read it. It will be there in that, so you don't have to write it. Short form for SOM. The SOM is the short form for seat occupied message. LDM, load distribution message. Load distribution means what happens is when passengers are seated, sometimes when it's a full flight, passengers are all over. Sometimes the passengers are less, like half the aircraft. In that case, even baggage becomes half. In that case, what they do, if they load the baggage in front, they load the passengers at the back. If they load the baggage here, they load the passengers in front. So to get proper, otherwise it will be tail heavy or nose heavy. To avoid this, to balance it, they put load, that is called your load distribution. Somebody's audio is on, please. Saurabh, I think yours. They load distribution, that is called. So the load of passengers is distributed in accordance with the load of baggage so that the aircraft is not tail heavy or nose heavy, it is balanced. That is called load distribution. Container pallet message. There are containers and in which the stuff is filled and the pallets inside the aircraft. If I can show you, but at the time I will show you. And those are UCM, unit load device. This is each unit or each container, how much load there is, it has to be there. Everything is recorded in the aircraft, everything is recorded. So how many baggage is gone, how much load is, each pallet containing how much load, because the load has to be finally given to the pilot. He has to lift the aircraft, he has to know how much load he is carrying, because according to the load he carries the fuel as well. So they have fuel weight also you will have to calculate and give it. PTM, passenger transfer manifest. TPM, telepath. These all short forms here right now are difficult for you, but you will learn it post when you join the airline. All this should be seen. What you need right now is to understand what is the manifest and what is your baggage situation. These You can just read about it. Government guided formalities on completion of check-in. Briefly advise passengers of government formalities to be followed. You have to advise them, to tell them that, sir, please go through immigration and customs and all that, because some of people don't know. Give special assistance to VIP. With VIP, CIP, especially with VIPs, one person from the ground staff has to accompany them right till their seat. You have to go with them, like tomorrow Mukesh Ambani is flying, or Amitabh Bachchan is flying, or anybody is flying, important person, minister. One personnel is designated for him who takes him through the. He does not. VIPs don't stand in the line for immigration, customs, nothing. One of our staff goes and clears them everywhere with him and takes him to the aircraft right up to his seat. So that is the thing you have to do, give them that service. Make announcements also. I would like to show you something. Just 45, just. Okay, I'll just finish this last chapter and then show you boarding. Standard boarding procedures. When you're boarding passengers onto the flight, you have to prevent disorder. Start with numbering. Always, when you number, passengers are generally loaded from the rear. You give the numbers. Like suppose the last row is 33. So you will say, sir, passengers seated from number 20 to 33, can you please proceed towards the aircraft? Then they will fill up the seats. Then you will go from 20 to 10. The last to board are the first class passengers. First economy, then club class, then first class. And absolutely 10 minutes before departure, the VIPs come in and the door is closed. They don't have any waiting in the aircraft. They are VIPs. The minute they board, the doors are closed. So that is it. Give special. The wheelchairs are always boarded first because they take time to walk. The wheelchair, some people can't even walk in the seat. They need to be taken by the wheelchair. So first it is wheelchair boarding, then it is passenger. Okay. You also have to get the pouch ready for the cabin crew. Your manifest, your custom formalities, all the papers go in a pouch. We'll go through that later. Cargo, whatever, how many bags are there, how many passengers are there, list of bags, list of passengers. Your GD. GD is a paper for general declaration. Just as a passenger needs a visa to go to a country, we don't need any visa. Cabin crew don't need any visa. They have only visa for one country, and that is USA. That's also crew visa. Otherwise, they go on this paper called GD. All the names are there, right from the pilot till the end, and you have to just follow. The GD paper is given to you, like 10-15 papers are given to you. The pilot takes one, the co-pilot takes one, the cabin crew supervisor takes one, and the rest are given to the ground staff. As soon as the aircraft lands and the door is opened, the ground staff come and say, sir, GD. The GD is taken and gone to the guy goes running to the immigration and gives it to. So by the time the crew come there, they have the list of all the crew who have entered into the country. So the GD is the most important paper in the aircraft called General Declaration. It also has quite a signature, and it has a undertaking by the pilot saying that there is nobody traveling with any disease in the aircraft. He has to sign that and give it. So that's the most important paper, GD. So all these papers you have to do. Manifest, baggage manifest, passenger manifest, GD, load sheet, trim sheet, all these things, fill, passenger information list, everything you have to do. You confirm how many passengers are there. Also you have to write to them about stretcher passenger. Another thing, stretcher passenger is always kept on the right, behind. 3 seats are put down, stretcher is put on top of it. Always the stretcher will be here on the right side of the aircraft. So stretcher passengers, any restricted passengers, economy, all the you have to give it to the cabin crew, all the details on the paper, everything written. Again, I've already told you the colors for first class, business class and all. Let me see if I can show you some videos. I would like to. The beginning, the immigration, customs. You got an idea of what you learned today? Okay. Yes or no? Okay. So we end the session today. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Goodbye. Welcome. I'd like a thank you from everybody.
Thank you.
Why only 1 month? Everybody. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Well,
ma'am.
have a nice day, all of you. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Goodbye.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Ma'am.